Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Jacob Hite of Lake Catholic Football. How's it going?
Been great. How are you?
Doing well. I know it wasn't the best year for you. Of course, we won the state title last year and in dramatic fashion, probably one of the biggest turnaround stories ever, from not doing well to winning it all when no one expected you could. And
Yeah.
and then this year comes along, and I know that it wasn't. I know it wasn't the best year. I know you had some not so good moments, but you guys hung in there and fought through it all.
Yeah.
So, what overall, how do you think this year went for you?
So for me, I think this was a big year for like growth of being like a teammate and a player. This was my first year playing on the varsity level, so I wanted to make it the best I could. And it was my last year being a senior. So I wanted to be best teammate I could be, best like friend for all my teammates, and the best player for my team, myself, my family. And I just kept on focusing on what I had to do, focus on the fundamentals and just being a better athlete and being more positive, I'd say, in like the mental aspect. And then one thing that I did notice this year is so I lived with the JV team to even out the numbers. And I think that helped me being a leader and a better teammate because all these kids were younger, like freshmen, sophomores, and some juniors, and they wanted somebody to look up to. And I was glad that I could be that for them.
Do you feel like you've kind of done that? Because the thing is, it's like, in football, you always have the younger kids. It's like, this is what I want to do. This is who I need to look up to because, they accomplish so much. But overall, you've got to be pretty proud of yourself for everything that you accomplished. And I don't think you. And the thing is, I think you'd do it all over again if you could.
Oh yeah, it was great. I mean, as much as I wanted to be like with my classmates and my seniors in the workout room in the gym, I was glad to be that leader for them and bring them like guidance.
Not many people would do that. And did coach tell you this, or did you just do
Well,
this on your own?
at first I wasn't say I was like upset, but I found out I was gonna be lifting with them, and I wanted to make it the best I could. And I understood the reason. They said weight room's pretty small. Being in high school, they said they wanted to even out the numbers, and I made the best out of it.
Yeah, for sure. Talk about, being a kicker, what that's all about.
Yeah, so I think that's part of the reason why I didn't really care as much to be lifting in a different group. 'Cause I mean, I'm not always on the field, not always like in the trenches or anything. So for being a kicker, I go in for one play, and if I have to make the best out of it. You know, if I miss, I just got to come back strong. If I make it, that's great. I do it right. But I think it's a lot different than the other positions because there's so many other things that can go wrong or go right on the field goal. Like
Absolutely.
I think it's more technical than other positions maybe. You don't need to be the fastest, you don't need to be the biggest, but you want to have the best technique.
Yeah. So going into, the off season, really, how does that really kind of compare now that the season's been done for a while? Now you're trying to decide what's next. What have you got
Yeah.
towards your option wise? Update us on that.
Well, I currently have 8 offers. I've been thinking about the pros and cons of all these schools. And I like all of them. It's a good decision to have, I'd say. Like it's hectic at times, but then I realize I'm lucky doing this. I worked so hard for this, and I'm glad that like I'm wanted and people want me on their team, and I want to be able to pick the place that's best for me.
Yeah. So going to like what happens when you like miss a kick, like what how I've always wondered with this with kickers, and I always
Yeah,
everyone like approaches it differently. It's like
yeah,
some teams are like, okay, yeah, I did it, but there's some days it's like, yeah, but leave me alone for a little bit or something.
yeah.
how do you,
So
how do you approach that?
I think the way I'm on the field and like on the sidelines, I like being with my team. You notice a lot of kickers might like to just be by themselves, just be in the zone. And for me, I think it comes like right before the play because I know it's like third down, we're in our own half, most likely gonna kick it. So I'm getting in the right mindset. So I'm thinking to myself, just what's going to happen. And if I miss my first ever kick of the season this year, I missed. It was a 39-yard field goal on the right hash. I missed it wide left, and I was pretty upset. That was a rough start to have, missing your first kick. So I was pretty bummed out, but my coaches were there for me. They were there cheering me on. Just they understand. It's very rare to have a kicker make every kick, yet alone in high school. And I realized that other kids are going to miss. And I know the game is not going to come down to my kick, although it might at the end. Nothing should lead up to that point. So I know just to stay positive and to have a short term memory. That's what most NFL kickers say. And when you have a short term memory, you can easily forget about it, just move on. And that's one thing that I think helped me.
Yeah. How do you mentally prepare for games?
So I just listen to a lot of music, I'd say, in the locker room. Nothing like too upbeat, I'd say. I'd say more like mellow stuff to just get me in the zone, have like a slower heart rate, and just be more calm, not so tense. And I think that's what helps me do better in games. And having a lot of practice and having the coaches there with me, just keeping my mind off of it, talking to the other players, talking the coaches, just keeping my mind off of it.
Right. Yeah, because everyone's a little bit differently as how they tend to get ready for games and all that. And it's
And I
always
think one thing that helps me is that so I did kickoffs, field goals, and punts. So I had multiple things I could do. Because then I would have a higher chance of doing something good that game when I do all three. So I could easily just focus on what's coming next. Because when you do all three, chances of you going back in are very high. So I just focus on what I'm going to do next and what the plan is.
so kind of looking into that. I know that everybody like prepares for games differently. It's always interested me.
Yeah.
I've covered high school football. How do you like get ready for that? Do you like keep to yourself or do you like talk to teammates or how does that all work?
So pregame, I get hyped with them in the locker room, just jamming out. But during the game, I like to be talking with my teammates. But then, like normally, right before it, so I know I'm gonna go in at least for an extra point or a field goal. So I go to the net, start just kicking some practice swings. And when I start that, I know I'm in the mode, in the zone. So I want to start like just keep to myself and just focus on one thing.
Talk about like I'm sure like bus rides to games and all that. How do you
Oh yeah.
what are they like? Are they more excited? Everyone's talking to each other, or is it really, really quiet?
So one thing we do as a team is we want to limit distractions. So we try to not be on our phones as much on the bus. Try to just listen to music, not really talk too much, just be in the zone. So you know what your game plan is.
So like do you like keep to yourself? Do you just like
Yeah, I'd say
keep to yourself?
I always sat with with the same person on the bus, one of my close friends, and obviously he knew not to like bother me or anything, but I did try to keep to myself.
Do you just like shut your eyes and just think or something?
Yeah, especially we had our first 2 weeks are 2-hour bus rides, and that was definitely helpful. Just being relaxed, taking a nap.
Yeah, for sure. Um, does it like is it like getting ready for games and all that, just going through all the motions and all that? What do you think about just going through that whole process? Is that like one of the things you're gonna miss about getting ready for for high school games and all that?
I mean, I don't really think I'll miss it. I mean, some of the pregame things that we did were very fun, and I will never forget those. Definitely enjoyed those, but I know next year, wherever I play, there will be new traditions and new things we do as a team, which I'll be looking forward to.
Um, let's talk about what like Catholic kind of means to you and all that. What does it mean?
Oh, it means it's just a family. I mean, one thing I know from joining the football team my sophomore year, I mean, I was a third string kicker. And from the moment I stepped on that practice field, I knew I was welcome just as a starting quarterback. I knew they saw me the same and they cared about me the same. They had accountability to all the other players. If I missed a workout, they were hounding me. They were always there supporting me, which that that's why I think I enjoyed it so much, and it wanted me I wanted to make myself a better teammate for the younger kids when I was younger, so they could have the same experience, and it's just a big family, and we all have, like, faith in each other. The coaching staff, they all believe in each other,
Yeah, for sure.
family.
Yeah, how much are you gonna miss all that?
Well, I'm I'm very happy that I have the opportunity to play at the next level, but everybody wishes they could play one more minute of high school football,
Right.
one more snap, one more kick. I mean, it was just such a great time just being with all my friends. These are kids I went to school for 4 years, and some even more on the field with me. The student section, my family and the fans, and teachers at my school and the fans. I mean, it was something special, and I'm definitely gonna miss it, but I loved it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, and
Yes, thank you.
best of luck in your future. And maybe we'll have you on again when you announce what your
Oh
plans are.
yeah, thank you for sure.